I'm Linda Kincaid. Our top story this half hour, Republican U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump. He's known for his blunt talk, but some of his remarks on CNN on Friday night went too far, even for a number of his Republican supporters. And today he's been banned from attending a conservative event. Organisers of the Red State gathering in Atlanta quickly rescinded his invitation over comments he made about the female moderator of Thursday night's Republican debate. Listen to what he said about Fox News' Megyn Kelly.
I don't have a lot of respect for Megyn Kelly. She's a lightweight. And, you know, she came out there reading her little script and trying to, be tough and be sharp. And when you meet her, you realize she's not very tough and she's not very sharp. She's Zippo. Well, I just don't respect her as a journalist. I have no respect for her. I don't think she's very good. I think she's highly overrated. But when I came out there, what am I doing? I'm not getting paid for this. I go out there and, they start saying, lift up your arm if you're going to, I didn't know there'd be 24 million people. I figured, but I knew it was going to be a big crowd because I get big crowds. I get ratings. They call me the ratings machine. So I have, she gets out and she starts asking me all sorts of ridiculous questions. And, you could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever.
But here's how the organizer of the Red State gathering explained his decision to rescind the invitation to Trump.
If you haven't heard, I disinvited Donald Trump. Hang on. Just hang on. For those of you who haven't heard, you all deserve an explanation. I'm glad, despite some of the comments that the Trump team made last night, I can honestly say this event was sold out before we even announced he was coming. I've given Donald Trump a lot of latitude because he's not a professional politician. He's been a very blunt talker. I've said some dumb things in my life, and I've apologized for them. I reached out to the Donald Trump campaign last night and said, is Mr. Trump willing to apologize or clarify that he wasn't suggesting that a national reporter who asked him a tough question was having her period?
Let's talk more about all these comments. I'm joined by two of our CNN political commentators, Setmayer and Errol Louis. First, Tara, this was a very personal attack on Megyn Kelly. Many say it was a sexist attack insinuating that she was hormonal. What's your reaction?
Well, I mean, it wasn't anything else. How could you characterize it as anything else other than an adult temper tantrum by Donald Trump because he was asked a question that he didn't care for, and he's not used to not being in control of the situation. So how does he react? He lashes out like a high schooler. He's supposed to be running for president of the United States. This is not how a president of the United States should be reacting to questions or a situation that he doesn't like or can't control. So however you feel about the way Megyn Kelly asked the questions or the content of the questions that were asked or the way the format of the debate went, this is big boy stuff here. And to run around and call people names and personalize the attacks just makes it very low class, low brow, and definitely not presidential in any way, shape, or form.
And let's bring in Errol. You have a lot of respect for polling numbers and what they mean. Why is Trump, who has made comments like this in the past, so far ahead in the polls? And given he has been uninvited to this Republican event today, will that have any effect on his standing as the Republican frontrunner?
I don't think it will change the level of support that he has. Whether or not that keeps him as the frontrunner remains to be seen. The reality is he's been polling in the low 20%, 23, 24% range, and nobody comes close to that. That doesn't mean he has overwhelming support. In fact, it means 7+ out of 10 Republicans who are likely to vote are saying they don't want Donald Trump. But what he does tap into, Linda, and it's very important to notice this, is that there's a tremendous anger and discouragement out there. People are very distrustful and enraged, frankly, at people in Washington, at the business leadership, frankly, at the leadership in the state houses in the different states, and they don't think they're being told the truth. And so Donald Trump presents himself as the antidote to that. He says, I'm going to tell you the truth. It may not sound nice. I'm not going to be polite just to be polite, and we have to take this country in a different direction. There are a lot of people who feel that way. And as long as those people are out there and wanting to be heard, and Donald Trump wants to be their spokesman, he will have a place at the table.
But this time, has he gone too far?
Well, it remains to be seen. I mean, he I think made the biggest mistake by attacking Megyn Kelly personally, because he doesn't know her personally. I mean, she was playing a role. You know, we as journalists, and I've done lots and lots of debates, when it's time to do a debate, you're asking the question not because you personally are interested. You're asking it because you think it's important and you want to get the information out. He seems to have either misunderstood that or just refused to accept it.
Now, he hasn't apologized for this, but he has put out a tweet about an hour ago. We're just going to show it to you. This was the way he explained it. He was talking about the fact that he was talking about a bloody nose when he talked about whatever in the last phrase of the comment when he was talking about Megyn Kelly. What do you make of that tweet today?
I think it's nonsense. We all know what he was talking about. He was not talking about a bloody nose. He was making a sexist comment referring to a woman being on her period, which everyone thinks that when women are on their periods, they act a certain way. And so he was absolutely referencing that, and I think he was being tongue-in-cheek with that tweet. Does he think that the American people are stupid? Maybe. He calls everyone else that. So I think it's insulting to think that that tweet is supposed to clear it up for everyone. Come on, we know exactly what Donald Trump meant. But here's just to follow up on what Errol said about what Donald Trump is tapping into. Listen, there are a lot of reasons to be upset with what's going on in this country. This country is in big trouble. And I think Democrats and Republicans are frankly sick and tired of political correctness and people, sidestepping issues and not being straight talkers and telling the American people the truth. But there's a line. Like I said before, I mean, you can still be a truth talker. You can still be blunt and tell it how it is without being disrespectful and low class and juvenile. Because frankly, this is juvenile. You cannot run around just because you're a billionaire and used to getting what you want and used to being able to buy and sell whomever you want, to just go out there, say things, and expect not to have consequences. See, Donald Trump's not used to being told no. He's not used to people going back at him like this. And so now that he is, and he's in a position where the spotlight is really on him all the time, this is how he chooses to lash out. What a missed opportunity. I mean, women are over 50% of the vote in this country. So is that who he really wants to go after and continue these misogynistic personal attacks? He needs to rise above the fray if he wants people to take him seriously.
Now, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham says we are at a crossroads with Mr. Trump. They don't want to lose him, but they don't know what to do with him. What should they do? How should they respond?
Yeah, we've heard this crossroads. I think 4 or 5 crossroads have come and gone, right? People said, well, he's not going to file. He doesn't want to disclose his finances. He filed. Well, the comment that he made a comment about Senator John McCain. It was a very disparaging remark about his military record. Well, that was going to be the turning point. I don't think there are going to be any turning points, to be honest with you, Linda. I think what's going to happen is the voters that are with him, until they decide that they're not with him, there's going to be a force and a factor out there. And frankly, if Donald Trump doesn't choose to be their leader, if he decides for some reason to go do something else, there will be other candidates out there who want to pick up on that, because it really is serious business out here. There are a lot of people out there, millions, frankly, who have just, I think, started to realize that the recession's supposed to be over, but they're still not going back to work. They're never going back to work. There's tremendous anger about what has happened in this country, and to the extent that that is an important factor in picking the next president, this anger, and it won't be expressed politely, is going to be part of this race for president.
Errol's absolutely correct, because Donald Trump is his own worst enemy, and until he's fueled by the attention, and he's fueled by the fact that he said it even in his own words last night. Well, look, I'm leading in the polls. The people love me. I got big applause. It's the narcissism of this whole thing for him that fuels what he does. The more you attack him, the more he attacks back. So that's not going to work. I mean, he defies the laws of political physics here. So I think everyone in Washington who's never seen anything like this before has really no idea quite what to do with him. They are at a loss. You see the Republican Party and the RNC handling him with kid gloves because they don't want him to run as a third party. Trump is using that as leverage so that he'll be treated fairly. I mean, this is something that I think people really need to stop and think about. Stop giving him fuel to continue these kinds of barbs. So he'll have to implode on his own. The people who allegedly support him are going to have to start to remove that support in order for him to back away, because then he doesn't have any fuel to run on anymore, because that's obviously what's motivating him here.
Okay, Tara, Setmayer and Errol Louis, we appreciate your time today. Thanks very much for joining us. Great discussion, and we will continue it.
Thanks, Linda.
Thanks.